You're listening to From There to Here, a Star Trek Enterprise podcast. Hello, my name is Josh, and with me is...
Justin.
Today we're going to be taking a look at Season 1, Episode 9, Civilization. From the IMDb, here's the plot synopsis. T'Pol finds unusual neutrino readings on a planet with a pre-industrial society. Also on the IMDb, this is rated as a 7.2 out of 10.
Would you say that's a good rating?
Well, 7 out of 10, I'd say is...
Not bad?
It's not like rating it on a letter grading system. I would say that's well above average. 5 would be average in this case. So
All right. Well, the original air date of this was November 14th, 2001, directed by Mike Bejar, written by Phyllis Strong and Mike Sussman, guest starring primarily Diane DiLiascio as Rianne.
Rianne, that's the character's name?
Rianne.
Okay.
And Wade Andrew Williams as Garos. And a special piece of trivia here. Mike Sussman thought it was funny to make the bad guys in the episode the Malloreans, knowing that in the future, their species would be wiped out by Nomad in the Changeling.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either, but that's right here on Wikipedia.
Well, God bless Wikipedia. Yeah.
They get what they deserve, those Malloreans.
So the episode starts off on the bridge of the Enterprise, and most of the senior officers are gathered around. I don't know what that section of the bridge is called. At their tactical station, maybe?
I would say that's like, I don't know, ops or something. Or it's their little briefing station, but
right. I don't think
it's kind of like a combination of their 10 forward, but it also has data displays and all that, so it's kind of like ops. It's like ops briefing.
Well, is this akin to where they, like in the on the Enterprise D, when they go back to the science stations and look at stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what this is.
Yeah, basically. And there's a little table. They're literally standing there with coffee in their hands. This is their morning briefing.
Yeah, I mean, this is nicer. This is a better arrangement than the D would have. You know, the fact that the whole crew can gather around this.
Sure.
Well, it's almost like a smaller version of what you see in the engine room of the D.
Yeah.
Okay, I spent way too much time talking about that part. Okay, so this is a funny moment where the crew is playing a little joke on the captain, where they're like, the captain's wondering, hey, is there anything interesting going on? Is this going to be a good episode or a bad one? And then they're like, oh, we found such and such, and then we found 2 neutron stars. Yeah, that's something.
And he's completely unthrilled.
He's very, very unimpressed. He's like, really? Anything else?
Thrilled.
And Trip says, well, there's one more thing. And he points out a Minshara class planet.
With a big shit grin on his face, which makes Archer say, you should have led with that. Something like that.
Yeah, well, it takes him a second for him to catch on.
Yeah.
It was a cute moment, and I liked it. This was a good opening.
It
was a good opening.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the episode is downhill from this moment.
Well, let me start.
Now, I'm not going to say it was a steep decline, but it was a gradual decline.
Well, I found this teaser completely unimpressive, and
I didn't say it was impressive. I said it was. That's the started off as
I'm
strong
just
as
saying,
this is as strong as it gets.
I get it.
Okay.
To me, this is not the strongest part of the episode. This is one of the weakest, and
well, I'd like to hear what you think is the strongest part.
Well, I'll get there, but this teaser was so episode 2 to me. You fell into that nest.
It did feel like
dogs.
this. Oh, I thought you meant. I didn't think you meant Star Wars. I thought you meant episode 2 of this series.
No, Star Wars episode. It was so blah. There are some things that Star Trek, God bless it, just cannot
and witty banter is not that.
Witty banter. You know what? It can.
Okay.
It can do witty banter. It's best when it's not trying to do witty banter. Okay. And this, where they're all, it's just...
we pulled a fast one on you, Captain.
Oh, Lord in heaven. I was like, oh, boy. And I remembered having pretty much only seen this episode once or twice. And I remember being slow. And I was right. But
the fact that I didn't remember much about it either set off alarm bells in my mind that it must not be a great one.
Yeah, this teaser just sets you up for what the episode is, which is... It's not a bad episode. It's not like anything in it is bad. It's just a slog. It's really slow.
It's very slow. It's painfully mediocre.
It is painfully
mediocre. And it feels like
mediocre.
the crew is dressed up and they're at a Ren Fest.
Well, and not only that.
That's basically what it feels
honestly,
like.
I think the biggest, probably the biggest sin, second biggest sin, because it is slow, is that this is what? 2 different episodes in a blender? This is Thine Own Self from TNG where Data,
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out what the connection is.
because Data brought the radiation rocks back
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
circulating
right,
and everyone's
right.
getting sick and he's being blamed and all that. So it's kind of like that episode.
You are an Iceman.
Right. The fire is in the leaf. You just
Yes.
have to make it come out.
I do not think that is correct.
If something is combustible, that doesn't mean it has fire within it. I don't understand. Okay. Yeah, so it's like thine own self and maybe a little Star Trek insurrection thrown in there so the captain can have a little romance with the local. And
Okay.
the point being,
I thought it was a cross with the
Name
episode
it,
Strange
yeah.
New World, the second episode of the season.
I don't really see that. But
Well, they acted the same way. Oh, a Minshara class planet. Let's go investigate.
okay, you're making my point, which is seen it before.
Oh, yes,
We've
I
seen
agree.
this episode both in Star Trek Enterprise, which is only 9 episodes deep, and in Star Trek as a whole before. So that alone was not good. Voyager is guilty of that. Voyager redid in a lot of different, episodes, previous TNG or even TOS episodes for that matter. And that, I don't really mind that as long as you give it a spin and make it interesting. I don't care as long as I'm entertained when I'm watching it. I was not entertained. I nodded off, I think, 2 or 3 times while watching
Oh,
this.
that bad.
I wasn't sure if you noticed.
I didn't.
I caught my head coming
Oh, okay.
up.
No, it was very slow.
Yeah, it was.
And I knew you felt it along with me,
Of
but
course, because
you
we
know,
didn't talk.
But we're on a journey.
Yeah.
Watching all these episodes and reviewing them. So, this is just one of those instances where it's an episode that isn't very good. It wasn't as painful as the bad one that we did. What was the bad one? The really bad one.
The Bernadette.
The Bernadette episode.
Bernadette.
What's that one called?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember.
Hold on,
it.
I've got the episode.
Well,
list right
it's a really bad episode. It's about 5 episodes in. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as
Terra Nova.
Terra Nova. Yeah, that's right.
Terra Nova is the big fat. Terra Nova is the shades of gray, I think, of Enterprise.
That's an insult to Shades of Grey. Get off of that, man.
At least Terra Nova was
Shades
its
of
own
Grey is
story.
entertaining, at least.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
You get some decent, hammy acting, and then you get a lot of good flashbacks.
No, you do. You're right.
It's a good grab
Best
bag.
of. Yeah.
Anyway, so to get back to what is this episode reviewing? Civilization. Civilization. As I said, it's very mediocre. Not bad at all, like you said, but it is a slog. But I think as I was watching it, I was like, oh, they missed that. They missed this. They could have done that.
Like what?
Okay, well, when they go down to the,
Should we Well, I guess
we can go. We
Yeah.
can recap it as we go along. Like right after that intro, we go down to the planet. They through their
As usual, they ignore
T'Pol's
T'Pol's advice.
which is the first thing I was going to mention.
They
but
learn nothing.
They look at through their magnifying. They look down, and one of the natives happens to look up at that exact moment, and they see what the native's face looked like, and they look practically human, but with little brow ridges.
Yeah.
They didn't happen to see anything else about their bodies, like what their hands look like, or anything like
They
that.
have scales on their butt.
Nothing.
Who
Nothing.
knows?
Like, oh, well, they don't look too different from us. We're going to go down there. T'Pol says, that's not a good idea, Captain. I think we should just observe. That was a good moment, but unfortunately, they never capitalized on it. They pretty much just threw it away. T'Pol never countermands them again, which was a missed opportunity. She could have been that voice of reason, like, this is not a wise thing to do. You need to pull back.
Well, I actually have a comeback to that.
Okay.
Because one of the moments I very much disliked in the episode was after Archer is found out by the other alien that's on the planet who has a more powerful ship and whatnot. That ship, while Archer's down on the planet, that ship attacks Enterprise and they're ordered to leave.
Well, maybe we should get to that point in the plot
Well,
first.
I only bring it up now because
Okay.
it's somewhat connected. T'Pol objected, they ignored her. Now here they are under threat, and she's like 30 seconds into her command, saying, "Okay, take us out of here." And here comes Trip again, firing on all cylinders, saying literally belay that order. That you better save that for like really big moments. You know, you don't undercut a senior officer.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that moment should not have been in there, I agree.
Yeah,
but I don't think the two moments.
I think that they come because again, she's being questioned. Is my point. And it
worked in the first instance, but in that instance, no, not when Tripp tried to counter.
No, it didn't work at all. And it if anything woke me up, it was that going, oh man, that is just so bad. Tripp, I hate you in this moment. Stop talking.
Yeah,
like
he didn't
even give her a second.
No, it was a bad line.
It was a bad exchange.
No, Tripp. By this point, Tripp had grown beyond that.
He had it came out of nowhere. And when
you're at the end of the episode here.
Okay, fine, I'll go.
But so let's see. Going back,
he goes down there.
They go down and they find there's a ship. Not a ship, but it's a shop that is emitting neutrino.
Something that shouldn't be there.
Something basically that shouldn't be there. Like a civilization with sailing ships shouldn't have
a nuclear something whatever in it. Yeah, whatever.
It shouldn't have that
proton something.
But they're unable to get inside. But eventually they do. They talk to the shop owner, and he's an alien too, and he's a Malorian, right?
Yeah, a Malorian, and he's there. He's running a shop, but what he and his people are really doing
immediately, you can tell he's up to no good.
Of course,
but he's like, hey, we're just checking the place out. This is just a facade. That's the power signature. Just I'm creating an imaginary facade. That's all.
Well, he tries to lie and say, oh, that's my replicator back there. I use it to make clothes and food and whatnot. And the Enterprise people point out, oh, that's enough power to create food and clothing for the whole continent.
Yeah,
like, come on,
right.
What's going on?
Yeah, so he's up to no good.
Yeah,
but from there,
it's pretty much at that point.
Well, the episode gets much slower beyond that point.
Yeah, because at that point
we meet the local.
Archer meets the local the girl, Rhiann, who gorgeous. That's the only.
Well, I mean, that's aside from the plot. But
I know, but to me, that's where the episode. That's the only interesting part of the episode is watching her.
I guess.
And it's unfortunate that this is the episode she's given. I wish this actress had been in more because she's quite attractive and she worked well. She looked right. The whole thing.
Yeah, but the whole the exchange between her and Archer was rather forced. I didn't.
Do you think so?
Yeah. What the episode tries to do is shoehorn in a little bit of romance between these two, when it didn't really feel like it just didn't. It felt shoehorned in. It didn't feel natural to the progression of their exchanges. Not at all. Not at all.
I don't feel that the romance part was shoehorned in, but I would say that the two of them didn't have jump off the screen chemistry really. I think maybe if they did, it would have felt
she
more
trusted
natural.
him much too quickly.
She did. She had no reason to.
He never gave her any proof.
None whatsoever. And he was.
They both saw some strange things in this. Okay, well, she did. Archer knew that these were aliens coming down to take something.
Yeah,
I can't remember what exactly.
And he throws her a couple lies, and then
she calls out the lies.
Well, she calls them. She
says, "Yes, you're lying."
Yeah, he immediately comes clean, but it's not the greatest start to a relationship. Even a little bitty one. But
most relationships start off on lies.
This was, of course, kind of a cliched romance, the way it happens and all that. Which again. Just like if you're redoing an episode, that's not necessarily bad.
Well, let me get back to the point where I was talking about. There was a few instances where they could have thrown in a curveball for us to make this episode a little bit more exciting. And first thing was to Paul. She only interfered that one moment, tried to stop them that one time. Then this moment with Rhiann, this instant with Rhiann, where she is investigating on her own behalf the weird goings-ons around. Basically, she's been noticing that people are becoming infected with something having to do, she suspects, with this shop. She doesn't know what it is, but she's pretty much sure that is the source.
Right.
But she never turns out to be anything else. She is just that person. She's a native, and she's looking
for
a scientist, and a good
doer.
A good doer, basically.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for the bad guy working at the shop. He's looks like a bad guy. He sounds like a bad guy. He turns out to be just another freaking bad guy.
All of his friends too.
But there's no kind of twist. They could have twisted it in some way where maybe Rianne was maybe in cahoots with this guy, or maybe he was actually not bad, she was bad. Something. Throw in a wrench or something. Like everything played out so straightforward.
Yeah.
Like we knew exactly where it was going, and it ended up exactly in that place.
No, I like that. That would have been interesting if there would have been some sort of flip, or even
something.
Whether she had been bad or he had been good, one of the two.
Normally, I hate cheap twists like that, but this episode at least needed it because there was nothing there.
No, she was pure as the driven snow. That one.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That is a missed opportunity to have made it a little more interesting, for sure.
That said, I mean, the episode did have some good moments. There was the moment where I think Rianne and Archer were out on the streets and they were surveying something, and his universal translator stopped working.
Right.
And so she reverted back to, well, she was always speaking her native tongue, but he couldn't hear English anymore.
Which makes no sense because she does not have a universal translator either.
No, but I mean, let's not let's not nitpick universal translators.
Let's not
okay. But anyway, he knew it was broken. So to try to buy himself time, he just ended up kissing her.
While looking off to the side behind her head so he could mess with his little tricorder dinghy.
It was a cute moment. I thought it was kind of funny.
Sure.
It brought a little bit of humor into
it did.
Otherwise underwhelming episode.
It did. He stopped, and he says like, say something, and she goes blip 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 blip, whatever, still in the wrong language. And he goes, okay, and he goes back in and kisses her more, and continues to work his device and all that. It was a cute moment. Honestly, it did not even do the best it could with that moment. There was more that could be done.
Like what?
I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's a very simply staged moment, which is fine, but I don't know how to explain it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was her reactions. Her reactions were too bland.
I mean, maybe she like started to kiss him back and got really into it.
Anything. There was no passion on her part. She didn't reject him.
It had no fire, no energy, no nothing.
No nothing.
It's a pop, pop, pop.
That's right. Thrill. It had nothing. I think that it's completely indicative of the chemistry they did not have. Unfortunately,
it was fair.
They didn't have bad chemistry.
Was fair.
It was just.
They're both attractive people.
It didn't light up
talking to each other.
Even though, I mean, since I brought up Insurrection and that romance with Picard and the local, they don't have their chemistry doesn't jump off the screen either. Mm-hmm. But what they both have is a similar temperament, and you can tell at least from Patrick Stewart when he's looking at her, you can tell he's attracted to her. Mm-hmm. She is more intrigued by him, but she's going to go ahead and play along.
Yeah.
You can at least feel that. With these two, I felt nothing. She was blank.
I felt Picard had more chemistry with
Piano Girl?
No. Oh, yes, Piano Girl. But I was thinking of because I just watched this episode recently from TNG, The Perfect Mate.
Oh, what was her name?
Famke Janssen.
Yeah, her character, I mean.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I felt
like it was like Anish. No, Anish was Insurrection.
I don't remember her name, but he had more chemistry in that instance. But I think we're getting off topic here.
Point being is that they had very bland.
Well,
chemistry.
that we're just trying to bring up examples to kind of show you the difference here. What does have chemistry and what doesn't.
Right.
It was just fair. It was serviceable. No fireworks. Nothing.
None.
Mm-mm.
When that kiss moment happens, you should be like, oh yeah, they're both feeling this. Something's going to happen. But honestly, they kind of like move on from it. Like there's never any chemistry after that, to show that they've moved up to another level. It just unfortunate. Yeah. Another missed opportunity, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about this episode. It is pretty much one and done. Never watch again. Yeah. It's very bland. It's just, it's forgettable. It's not bad. Forgettable. It's just forgettable.
I literally nodded off 3 times.
Like listeners, I took a walk after Justin and I watched this, and then about 20 minutes after I started the walk, I couldn't remember what the hell I just watched. I was like, oh yeah, we got to talk about the episode when I get back.
We couldn't remember anyone's name.
I was like, what is this? Oh, Civilization. Right. That's what I watched. I was like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I just completely forgot.
It is. It's very...
See, but the thing about like Terra Nova is that it's
so bad.
So bad it does stick with you. You know, you remember some of the bad lines and some of the bad images.
Yeah.
This was just kind of like ho hum and very uninspired. This felt like running through the motions.
It did. It did. That's
all the things they could have
way
done.
to put it. Yeah.
You know, that they just didn't do. Like
And-
they were just playing it so safe.
Of course. And to add insult to injury, it's another one of those, and this is always so painful.
Is that why you have to whisper?
Yes. When they have an exterior city indoors.
Yes.
You know, in that very...
It's clearly an outdoor set indoors.
Yes. And it's
Yes.
that damn UPN look.
Yes.
Where
Yes,
everything
yes.
is so flat. And it's that, honestly, the lighting and look of the show puts you to sleep. It's honestly just like the Sona in Insurrection. Browns and beige. Everything
Browns and
is
beige. And earth tones, people. Earth
the
tones.
JCPenney catalog. Everything is so bland, right down to the photography, that it's a recipe for taking.
That reminds me of that Voyager episode, which is really good, with Tuvok and that planet where they don't. Oh gosh, I don't remember the name of the episode, but it's a planet that doesn't.
The planet that's farthest from.
Oh God, they.
Come on, say it. I'll know it. What's the plot?
It's about people not exchanging bad thoughts.
Oh yeah.
And you think it's about one thing, and it turns out to be about something else.
Right.
And this is something that Tuvok finds out as he investigates.
Yes.
It seems like it's a pretty straightforward answer, and then as he investigates, he's like, "There's a lot more going on here than you guys think there is." He uncovers this underground network of people
that are passing
of black
on
market memories.
particularly violent ones.
Yes, violent memories.
And it's not that these are violent people.
Yeah.
It's just that they evoke emotion and that they like it.
But the
feels good.
episode could have died after B'Elanna had
Bumped
that
into
exchange,
that
and
guy.
it turned
Yeah.
out to be just that. And it was
Right.
about, we have to free B'Elanna. It would have been boring, but it turned out to be uncovering this black market that's going on, and actually kept the episode interesting.
Yeah, it did.
This, unfortunately, it didn't try anything new. It didn't try to.
Nothing new.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, really, because they clearly spent money on it. And so-
Sure.
not on the CG parts of it, but
No, you and I talked about that.
this is one of the few moments we talked during the episode. It was to note how unglamorous the CG was.
That's something we'd have to go back and look into the history of the show to see why they decided on this particular series to make such a push towards CG. Because of course, all the model there is no model work; it's all CG, and
The ships don't look that bad, but
in
when they try
space,
to do
okay.
nature, natural objects, and people, it gets a little shaky.
Well, that shot when they were in the forest, Archer and the girl, and the shuttle flies over, it's just, it sticks out. It really doesn't look good. And even the ships, they're not super detailed.
but even for that time,
yeah.
you think it did not look good?
Well, no, for the time, I remember watching it at the time thinking it looked not bad.
You could go back to the late 90s and find really bad CG.
Oh, yeah. Don't get
And
me
people,
wrong.
and this was CG that was in mainstream movies. They went to theaters.
Mind you, we then, just as we now, but even then, we were, of course, comparing that to TNG, to DS9, who were filming with models, and models look real no matter what. So, CG, yes, we knew that was not really bad CG. They would have moments that was definitely not good. But on a whole, especially at the time, no. On a TV budget, it was not bad. But it really does date the look of the show, unfortunately.
Well, the whole aesthetic of the show dates it.
You're right about that. The whole browns and beige taupe thing. Everything just
Well,
is so
not only that,
colorless.
but the color scheme of the whole
You're right.
of the Enterprise does. We mentioned this in the first podcast. It's a bland looking show.
It is. Boy.
Unfortunately, I mean, TNG, there's colors galore,
Yeah.
And thank God. But
Even Deep Space Nine's got a lot of color in it.
it does, yeah, comparatively so. But this one, for some reason, they decided to bland it up for some reason.
I think it
don't
was
know.
an aesthetic choice of the time, and especially since I'm guessing because TNG was generally so colorful, and TOS was colorful, and knowing that this was a precursor to TOS, there was no way they were going to put people in bright colored outfits in this. They wanted to feel more real. Real means less color. Real means grounded.
Real means
gritty.
they wear hats.
Yes, ball caps, goddammit. And there's no color anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah. This episode is...
Is there anything you want to nitpick about it since we're kind of done talking about it in general? Or?
About this episode?
Yeah.
Nitpick? No. Honestly, I wish there was.
Okay.
My main nitpick would be the fact that they pulled out the chair for Trip to have his damn argument with DePaul again, which felt wholly out of place and really just... It made him not likable in that moment because he's so belligerent, and he didn't even let her finish giving her orders. And that's what she tells him. She's like, hello, I was not done talking.
Right.
And he jumped on her. Honestly, if I was to Paul, I'd have said, get the off of my bridge. Who do you think you are? Yeah, if I were to Paul, I would have just kicked Trip right off of the bridge. She would have been well within her rights to do so, because of his arrogant belligerence. It was just ridiculous. And I can't believe they pulled that out again. It was just really ridiculous. Even if he wanted to question it and just say, we're not going to leave him, are you? Of course we're not. Boom, done.
Yeah, that's all I expected them to do. Really.
It was a very manufactured moment that...
I think the writers must have known, or the director, somebody must have known, like, there's not enough drama in this episode.
Exactly.
We need to spice things up a little bit.
That's all it was. And it felt like it. That if you...
It's like, well, that's not enough. If you're going to have Trip go against her, then he needs to like mount a full coup against her, because this episode is boring.
Yeah,
like,
at least that would have been something.
Something.
But no, it was
like
nothing.
fire. You have phaser fights on in the hallways going up to the bridge. We got to take over from DePaul. We got to get the ship for her and go save Archer.
Yeah, no, it was like Crimson Tide. Like, let's go get her.
Yes. You know, where Gene Hackman punches Denzel Washington right in the face in front of everybody.
Yeah, that at least would have been interesting. Even when the alien ship shows up, and I like this part. The Enterprise fired 2 torpedoes at it, and it did nothing. Just blew up on their shields, and they figured something out and managed to get in and affect it. So, I just that was an opportunity to outclass them and have it be a part of the episode, but nope, just more blandness.
Well, we had to wrap it up. We were already like 40 minutes in at that point.
Yeah,
you gotta have an extended battle between.
No, not now.
No, well, I wouldn't want it now.
Nothing was interesting up till this point. Why start?
No,
now?
I mean, by that point, you're like, wrap it up. Let's get to the end now.
Exactly.
And the end is as uninspiring as the rest of it. Where he talks with Rianne and French kisses her, which is a nitpick. There's tons of nitpicks you can go about an alien civilization that is technically alien but is practically human. I mean, this is all throughout Star Trek history.
Sure.
I mean, do you think she'd stop and ask, why is your tongue in my mouth? What are you doing? Why are you putting your mouth on my mouth? We don't do that here.
Again, like you said, a missed opportunity, but they already did it, which is in the TNG episode First Contact.
Which part?
When, of course, this is when Riker is,
right.
And,
I've always wanted to make love to an alien.
Yeah, BB knew her say that who she's an alien, and she says, "I'll help you if you sleep with me." And he says, "There's probably differences between how our people do things." She's like, "I can't wait to find out." At least have that exchange.
And we never find out if he did or not.
Oh, he did.
Oh, you think so?
100%.
Well, we never found out.
That's how he got out.
Yeah.
And she even does this. She's pushing up her glasses and does the. Yes, he rocked her alien world. Absolutely. Riker knows his business, and he showed Lilith. He showed her how to cheer. So that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
So this didn't even have that.
No.
Like when they were having the phaser fight towards the end of the episode, and she noticed there's a lamp. Oh, right. Behind the bad guys, and she goes, "Hey, that thing is full of kerosene oil, blah, 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 blah. It heats up at 3,000 degrees. You wouldn't have anything that heats up like that." And she says it like she's been doing this stuff. She never acts at all impressed or scared by any of this stuff.
No, not at all.
And of course, he blows it up. And again, she's completely unaffected. And then here they are, yes.
Well, she never even acts surprised when she sees an alien.
No,
for the first time.
She's not. Of course,
You think she might, I don't know, faint,
Yeah.
scream, "Oh my God, what is that?
his face.
What is that thing?"
I liked that. I actually liked that. How
Oh, he's
this guy was wearing
the bad guy's wearing a mask.
a mask,
Yeah.
and it peels away to reveal like kind of like reptilian like skin,
right?
and so
Like in V.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Archer is physically fighting with him. Mm-hmm. And there's a part where he's kind of flopped around on the ground, and you see like half his face hanging off. And I was like, "Ooh, that's different."
That was interesting.
You don't see that all the time. And then that would have been interesting for her to lean over and go, "Oh my God, his face is off." Oh, don't worry, it's just fake, honey.
Oh,
You know, anything. But she doesn't react to any other than just going, "Oh my."
How could
look
you
at
act so
that."
normally to something so disgusting?
Yeah,
Something.
Anything.
No, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't do
nothing
anything.
at all. Nothing at all. She was probably wholly unimpressed by her dalliance with Captain Archer, just like the whole episode was.
Just like she was unimpressed when he gave her the cure for the disease that had been spreading, from the neutrinos. That's how the episode ends. And then he kisses her, and then he leaves.
He did not just kiss her and leave.
Oh yeah, you think he did more?
He conducted shore leave. Absolutely. You don't think so? I think that was the implication.
Do you think it was implied?
Badly, but yes, I think it was implied that he did not just smooch her and leave.
Okay. I didn't pick that up.
Well,
I mean, I know that was
once again something about that the episode did not.
At the end, we were joking about it, but I just thought it was a joke between us. I didn't think it was something implied in the episode.
I really did get that impression.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
What implied it? I didn't pick up
as
anything.
much as the rest of the episode did. I think it's there, but just not very.
Well, they never made any allusions to sleeping together.
I can't tell you exactly right now what words he used or whatever, but I got the very definite implication that his intention was to probe her.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. It was there. You'd have to go back and watch the scene. I felt like
I don't want to rewatch it. I just like
I felt like it was there.
All he did was
maybe I wanted it to be there. I don't know.
I think you wanted it to be to make it more exciting in your own head.
That's entirely possible.
Because it was not there.
I can't deny that possibility.
All of their conversations were bland.
And so would their lovemaking session.
Just all missionary.
All boring.
What grade do you want to give this?
This commentary is more interesting than the episode.
Talking about it has been more entertaining than watching it. So what do you grade it?
We're doing out of 10, right? I'm gonna give.
No, we don't do it. No, we do. We have a grade letter, letter grade.
Oh, right, I forgot. Okay,
yes.
I would give this a C.
Okay, I
Middle
agree.
of the road.
I
C.
agree with you entirely. C.
Okay.
Completely average.
Yeah.
I mean, this like we said, this isn't a Terra Nova.
It's neither good nor bad.
It's just so middle of the road.
Yeah.
Which is very uninspired.
Which you might say, oh, well, doesn't that deserve a B? No,
it doesn't.
It actually has a
so
sin.
The fact
of
that it has a
uninteresting.
7.2, I think I said.
That's very high.
That's very high.
That's why I was questioning you about that, because that seems high.
I would have thought the IMDb users would have rated it much lower.
I would have thought so too. I would see them rating this like a 5.
Terra Nova on the IMDb is rated as a 6.5.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous. So maybe I should use a different website to pull ratings from.
Yeah, I don't think that works.
Because this is way too high.
Agreed.
But it's 7.2 out of 1,800 votes. Come on now. No.
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
They're wrong.
I mean, this is a 5. This is a 5.
Terra Nova was more interesting. Say what you will, as bad as
it was interesting in a way.
At least the plot progressed and something was happening.
It was interesting in a bad way, though. Like watching a Neil Breen movie.
No, I get it. But but at least they were outside. Some things happened and da-da-da. Nothing happened in this. It just felt so blah.
Mm-hmm. No, it did.
To me, this
completely
deserves to be lower rated almost than Terra Nova. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the next episode, Fortunate Son, is going to be better than this. So
it's also just okay.
I've got a bad feeling about it, though. I don't remember
what happens in it. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But it's definitely a whole lot of missed opportunities is what it is.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see you in the next one.
Oh, yeah, we already rated. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.